Hello everyone, welcome back to MLS Moves. Please make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So the hiring of Mauricio Pochettino is official. Well, the national team account hasn't announced it yet, but all the big accounts are saying it's official. Fabrizio, Jeff Carlisle, David Ornstein. It is happening. Mauricio Pochettino is the next U.S. men's national team manager. And last night, me and Adam Turner did a live stream talking about how excited we were at the potential of his hiring, but has now been confirmed it's going to happen officially. And this is an A+ hire for me. This is the second best manager the U.S. men's national team could have possibly hired. And I'm just over the moon. I didn't think that we would hire a manager of this caliber, not because we couldn't, just because of the incompetence at the soccer federation. I thought that we were going to botch this opportunity to make a great hire going into 2026, especially because they rehired Greg last year. I didn't have a lot of confidence in this federation to make the right decision, but they shocked us all and they made the right hire. Thank God we hired him instead of these other candidates that were rumored to be in contention for the job. We had heard Patrick Vieira, we had heard Thierry Henry, we had heard Pellegrino Matarazzo, which would have been an okay hire, but not to the level of Potts, right? And then we also heard Steve Shrundalo. Thank God we did not hire him. He is not ready for this job, especially heading into the most important 2 years in our soccer history, right? 2026 has so much riding on it. We have to have a good performance. It's on American soil. We need to make sure we capitalize on the opportunity, and we need to make sure we have a coach or manager who can get the most out of these players and see what we're made of, see what the actual potential or limitations are for this team. Obviously, a lot of people thought that Greg was the problem. I thought Greg was the problem. And we want to see if it was the players or if it was the coaching. And if it was the coaching, Pochettino will be able to get a lot out of this team because we all know, at least on paper, this is the most talent assembled that this national team has ever had. And I can't wait to see what he can do. Now, what do I expect him to do, right? Uh, I expect the team to play some exciting football. I expect him to get a lot out of the players. I expect him to make Gio Reyna a better player on the national team level. I expect him to make Ballo a better player on the national team level. I expect him to put the players in the best position to make them succeed. If you look at what he did at Tottenham, he made Harry Kane a better player. I don't know if you heard the story, what Adam said last night, but a lot of people at Tottenham thought that Harry Kane would be maybe an average Premier League striker. And I think Pochettino is owed a lot of credit for turning him into a world-class striker. If you look at Harry Kane's statistics, he had his best seasons under Pochettino, minus the last season at Tottenham where he had 30 goals. Obviously, had a good season at Bayern too. But in his tenure at Tottenham, his best years were under Pochettino. And then when he left, his numbers kind of declined. And then obviously Christian Eriksen had his best stint of his career when he played for Pochettino at Tottenham. You look at all the players that played for him and what he was able to get out of them. I believe he'll be able to do the same exact thing and be able to do that for the national team to maximize our potential, which is what we need to do. We need to get someone in here who can motivate our players, who can get the best out of them and hold them accountable. If a player comes into camp out of shape, if a player comes into camp checked out, if a player is distracted in any form or fashion, Pochettino is going to hold them accountable. And that's exactly what we need. 2026 is important. There's a lot riding on it. Pochettino is going to maximize the potential. What would be considered a success for this tournament? I would consider for the 2026 or just his tenure in general. I tend to think he's going to be here for 2 years, which is what made this an appealing offer for him. He gets to come to the national team for 2 seasons. He can be the savior of U.S. soccer, okay, because we're in a very bad spot right now. And then he can save us and then go back to club football in Europe. It's a perfect situation. 2 years, very low risk, high reward situation, which I think is appealing. And we probably paid him very handsomely, probably paid more than any other national team job was willing to pay, including England. But what would be considered a success? I think that if we can get to the quarterfinals, that would be considered a huge success. Okay. Now, the World Cup has changed. It's going to go to 48 teams. So the knockout round is going to start at 32 instead of 16 now. So I think that if he can win, the round of 32 game should be winnable. The round of 16 game, we need to be winning that game, right? That's where Greg failed. That's where Jurgen Klinsmann failed. They couldn't get past the round of 16 or to make it to the quarterfinals. So I would like to see Pochettino make it to the quarterfinals. If he makes it to the quarterfinals, that would be a huge accomplishment for the U.S. men's national team. I don't think we've been to the quarterfinals since 2002 under Bruce Arena. So that would be a huge accomplishment for Pochettino. And if he does anything better than that, then that's just icing on the cake. And look, we have to have a good showing. This is the biggest year in soccer for the United States. Lots riding on this popularity for the sport. Obviously, you guys know that I cover MLS as well. MLS is definitely counting on the U.S. men's national team to have a great performance and prove that American soccer has arrived, that we're a serious nation, that we are a top nation in soccer, and that we're here to stay and compete. And making a move like this has shown that we are ready to compete. We are ready to play with the big guys, and we're ready to make a name for ourselves in the soccer landscape. Now, in 2026, I also think Pochettino is an important role as well because of the name recognition. You know, having a coach who many people don't recognize kind of hurts the brand. If Steve Shrundle was the manager or Greg, people don't know who these guys are on the international level. They're unknowns. So having a manager that everyone at least knows is going to help raise the profile and bring more eyes, especially with it being on American soil. Now this is one thing that I saw a lot on Twitter today, specifically talking about Pochettino, his success or failures at the club level, that he's overrated, that he's not good, that that we could do better than him or that he's overrated. And to that, I say, how is he overrated? He went to Tottenham, a team that normally finishes top six in the EPL, haven't won the league in a long, long time. He competed top four for many of his seasons in the Premier League with Tottenham. The team doesn't spend as much as the other top big clubs in the EPL. Made it to a Champions League final with Tottenham in 2019 against Liverpool. Liverpool was really good that year. Nobody was beating Liverpool that season because of how well they were playing under Klopp with Mane, Firmino, and Mo Salah. That top three was probably the best in the world at the time. Nobody was beating that team, and yet he made it to the final. He lost. I understand that. But hell, he made it to the final with Tottenham. That's a huge accomplishment in itself. Okay. He gets hired at PSG halfway through the 2021. He took over in January of 2021. So 6 months before Messi signed with PSG. He didn't win the title, but he took over halfway through the year. And his one full season with PSG, they won the title. They did make it to the round of 16 in the Champions League, but somehow that is a failure because he didn't win the Champions League at PSG. Well, nobody's won the Champions League at PSG. And another thing too is like I'm comparing him. I'm not saying he's the same manager as Pep. I think Pep's obviously a better manager than Pochettino. But what I'm saying is that the Champions League is such a hard tournament to win. Even Pep Guardiola, who many people consider to be the best coach of all time, has only has one Champions League trophy with Man City in a decade. So my whole point is that the Champions League is very hard to win unless you're Real Madrid, and even the best coach can struggle to win it. Jurgen Klopp only has one with Liverpool. Pep Guardiola only has one with Manchester City. So this is a chance. It's not like everybody can win it, and it's just like, oh yeah, well, hey, anybody could win that. He checked that box off. I think that the fact he made it to the Champions League final with Tottenham is very impressive in itself. And him not winning several trophies does not bother me because you got to look at where he was at. One of the things that I really wanted in a manager was that I wanted a manager not what they can prove, what they can do with a lot, what they can prove they can do with little. And I think that that's what gets me excited about him is because he never did coach the best team in any league except for PSG in the French league for one full season. He proved himself at Southampton. He proved himself at Tottenham, and I think he's a good fit, especially stylistically for this team. And I expect him to play a 4-2-3-1 with us, and I think it's going to fit perfectly for the players we have. And I think that he's going to shock a lot of people. And the U.S. men's national team are, in fact, back and better than ever. So I'm excited about it. I'm more pumped. I mean, hell, I could barely sleep last night. I was just so excited. I was checking Twitter just to make sure it was, get it confirmed, and just get that tweet that said, "Hey, this is happening," or "Fabrizio, here we go." And I just been thinking about it a lot, and I think this is a dream hire. This is the best hire the U.S. men's national team could possibly have made outside of Jurgen Klopp, which he does not. He didn't want to coach again, and he didn't want to slap Liverpool in the face by retiring and saying he was done with football just to come back in here and coach the U.S. men's national team 2 months later. He thought that would have been a disservice to the Liverpool fans, the organization, and he did not want to do that. And I understand that and respect that. But we got the second best coach you could possibly get. It's an A+ hire. I want to know what you guys think about it. I had a couple people say it was an F or a C. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I want to know what you guys think. What would you give the Pochettino hire grade wise, A through C, or I'm sorry, A through F? What would you give it? I give it an A+. I think it's the perfect hire for the national team. Can't wait to see it. I'm more excited for friendlies than I've ever been. I'm more excited to see us play these Caribbean teams we can beat up on. Just can't wait to see what happens and how he coaches and how he handles our players and see what the end result is on the pitch. And also, too, I want to say this. With this hire, the Greg Berhalter era is officially over with. It's in the past. The future is here of U.S. soccer, and I am so excited to see what happens. The door has been shut. This is the biggest upgrade in soccer history, maybe coaching history, going from Greg Berhalter to Mauricio Pochettino, the biggest upgrade in coaching history. I want you to tell me a coaching upgrade that's bigger and better than this right now. We're talking about a coach in Greg Berhalter who coached in the 16th best league in the world, probably at the time, to a guy who coached at the best league in the world for 3 stints, Southampton, Chelsea, and at Tottenham. Okay. So we're swapping out a 16th best league coach who was mediocre in that league to a first best league or best league in the world coach in Pochettino. That is the biggest upgrade in coaching history, in my opinion, especially in soccer. I never have seen something like that happen before. So let me know in the comment section below. Do you think it is the biggest upgrade in coaching history? And what would you give this grade? What grade would you give this hire? Let me know in the comment section. Very excited. Can't wait to see these friendlies in September. Yeah, guys, it's a good time to be a U.S. men's national team fan. It's the best feeling I've had since 2014. And I just cannot wait. I'm so excited for 2026. So make sure you like this video down below, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. And until next time, I will see you all soon.